Okay, guys, well, welcome. We're so excited that you're here. I am Connie, and we're going to be talking just amongst girlfriends. I love it. I love these ladies. I love what they're sewing into my life. And, and if you ladies will just mute yourselves right this second, real quick, that would be awesome. But we're going to be talking tonight just about, are you playing small? And this came after I started to read a book. And so I'm going to do this so you guys can see everybody. I was reading this book by Rachel Hollis. And I know some of you guys are reading this book, some of you guys are not. I would tell you, if you don't have this book, go run to Amazon and seriously go get it. It's an amazing, amazing book. And it's called Girl, Go Wash Your Face. I think it's just a hilarious title. But you guys, this book, I loved what Amber said earlier today. Like, it's so refreshing, but it's so challenging because it's just about the lies that we walk in and we tell ourselves. Pretty nonstop lies. And I was reading through this chapter, and it was called, I Need to Make Myself Smaller. And it was this statement where I did a Facebook message, and I'm like, okay, this statement just like hit me, and God was like, you need to share it, and we need to have some girlfriend time and really talk about what this looks like in our lives. But she's talking about playing smaller, and she said, do you really think God made you, uniquely, wonderfully you, in hopes you would deny your true self because it might be off-putting to others? I can't believe that's true. The more I've thought about it, the more I believe that God made me this way. And she's talking about herself. He knew I would be a worker's heart, and he knew I would want to build big dreams. In the same way, he knew another one of his children were meant to stay home and raise her beautiful babies, while another daughter of his wouldn't want kids at all. Have you spent a lifetime muting yourself for fear of what others will think? And I think as women, this is such a huge area of our life. And so I have a few questions. I'm going to let my girls here just kind of just jump in there. I'm going to introduce them right quick. We have Carrie. Carrie does essential oils, but she also does health coaching. I love it. She does a group called Emotional Detox, which is awesome. If you really got a lot of emotions going on, you guys, Carrie's your girl. Amber, again with doTERRA. Yeah, the funny thing about these women, I've only met one of them in person. So when people talk about wanting their tribe, wanting their people, it doesn't have to be your next door neighbor. These are all women that I highly respect, I highly love, and I've only met Arlene in person. So that, that's the cool part. So Amber is my go-to techie girl. She loves her oils. She's my brainstormer. Like, when I've got something going on, like, I can totally bounce stuff off of her. Arlene and I met through my sister-in-law. She lives in Lubbock, Texas. She has a heartbeat for first responders, and so I'm excited she's joined us. And then Heather is with House of Bounty, and so Heather's purpose and really her destiny is to speak emotional health over women and be able to use essential oils to do that. And then Kathy's been with me the whole time building doTERRA, and just loves to serve people. Works as a CNA, which if anybody knows anybody that's done that, that's a calling, that's a gift. So anyway, welcome, ladies. We hope that everybody that's joining us on video and everything, you feel like you're in the living room with us. So we're each at our own homes, whether it's the living room or bedroom. I don't know where we're at. So anyway, let's start off with the first question. Do you have an area in your life where you play small? And kind of, if you don't mind, like, sharing a little bit about that, and why do you play small? And you guys, anybody can jump in there.
I'll go first. So my area where I play small is bringing forward the information that I have learned to other women. And I find that I play small in this area because it's terrifying. It's terrifying to put your fear to the side and allow yourself to be completely vulnerable and be in a space where that vulnerability serves other women. And even though you know that's your divine calling from God, it can be intimidating. And that's the area that I find myself playing small in.
And I think a lot of women deal with that. Like they have a calling, they know what God's called, and it scares them to death. And it's that vulnerability. We all put on social media and Facebook the pictures that we wouldn't dare otherwise, put. And so, yeah, I mean, does everybody feel that way sometimes too? Like it's being vulnerable with other people. Anybody else?
I will go. I have something. For me, I feel like my success will make other people feel worse about themselves. And my purpose, my passion is to make women feel better about themselves. And somehow I feel like if I'm successful, that somehow that will make people feel worse about where they are. So I play small. I try to stay here instead of going up here. Because I want to help elevate and raise people up. I don't want to make them feel worse about themselves.
Yeah, and you're not alone in that. I think anybody who has done direct sales or has done their own business, there's that limit that I think it's one of the books he talks about glass ceiling or something, where we hit that ceiling. So, and it is what it is. Yeah, great stuff. Amber, Arlene, any thoughts?
I'll go real quick. The area that I've been challenged lately to look at closer that I'm playing small in is how I'm defining my resources. So the easy definition is not the definition I'm supposed to be using. The definition of resources I'm supposed to be using is all encompassing of not just physical possessions as resources or what's in the bank account. It includes talents and, like Heather was saying, knowledge that I've gathered. It's broader, and how am I using those resources and sharing them? And I've been small because it's easier to be small when you don't define it correctly. And most of that is out of fear of not wanting to be seen differently.
And I think that's the crazy part. Like, all of us have gifts, all of us have talents, and sometimes they get on the back burner, because of that, and that's such a great point. We kind of like, we go to school and we get a degree for a lot of us, and that's supposed to define us, when probably 90% of us aren't using our degrees of what we went to school for, and it's finding those gifts and like living into that. Totally. Arlene, any thoughts?
Figure out how to unmute my phone. I just really have been contemplating those questions since you sent them to me. And it's like, oh my gosh, when I think about it, it's like probably every single area of my life I have been taught to play small. I mean, I remember being a really little kid, and I was the oldest of 3 girls, and my daddy would laughingly say to people when they'd say, "Do you have any boys?" He'd say, "Nah, these are the only kind of girls I'm ever gonna, or these are the only kind of boys I'm ever gonna get." And so I think I learned to minimize myself and what I wanted as a girl,
Mm.
because, I had this mixed message from early childhood that somehow girls weren't as good as boys. And really been trying to work on that and a whole lot of other things. And yeah, I'm gonna go buy this book. I'm gonna go buy this book.
Book is awesome. Run to Amazon. It was like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
we'll be here in 2 days. And do y'all think? I mean, that is that part of us as women? Like, we have this defined. I mean, I feel that sometimes, just even with I'm still single at 46, not married, don't have any kids, and it's like, here's this picture of what I should be, and so sometimes, that puts some limits there on me, or I feel like it does, because how are you going to do that? You don't have a husband yet. You don't have kids. Like, and that just isn't my journey at the moment, And so I think sometimes we as women put that even on each other, of this picture of what a woman should do and look like, and, homeschool your kids and do, make every meal at home in your Instapot. Like, I think, but I think that's honestly what we see some of the time, is that here's how you should be. And some of that social media, honestly, for the good or the bad of it, and celebrities and what we watch and what we follow and all of that. So like y'all, when actually God kind of had me type out these questions, and I was like, ooh, I don't know if I want to answer these questions. I kind of thought the same thing, like, where is it in my life that just plain small? And for me, like, some of what God has been just stirring so much is when I look kind of in the Christian world at the moment, like, there's nobody talking about narcissism or controlling, how do you deal with those relationships? It's love somebody and forgive, and there's so much more to that. So much more to that. And for me, it's fear of judgment. Kind of like Heather, just, having to be very vulnerable with my journey. And I've opened up a little bit about that, but not a ton. But to be very public with that. And that's hard. That's a lot of judgment from different people, from different stuff. And I definitely have played small with that. But even in weight loss, I've done that. Of I have lots of excuses of why the weight's still on me. I can't figure out something, or, I have screws and plates, and, God just really kind of convicted me of, that's just plain small. Find a trainer, find somebody who can help you. So anyway, I think y'all made such great points. Like, we all take that and we all play small in some area. So if you're listening to this, like, we'd love for you guys to put in comments on whoever social media you're listening to it, like, what scares you? What areas are you playing small? Because we'd love to pray over you. Like, we'd love to walk with you on that journey. Because we're going to talk a little bit about that. So question 2, how important is it with your tribe on this journey? Sorry, y'all, let me grab my phone. How important is your tribe in the journey of playing big or small? And what do they do to encourage and discourage you?
I guess I'm still unmuted, so I'll go first. I think it's like huge, like epic huge, that you have to surround yourself with people that understand you. And it's really, really hard to do, because it does take being vulnerable. I remember a lady that I love dearly, Costa Rican woman that I met. We struggled to communicate because I was learning Spanish, but she had 2 little boys who were just precious. And one of the other missionaries invited me to go with the 2 of them and the kids to an art festival in the park. And I was walking around in the park and I was just thinking, oh, I just absolutely love how that woman is dressed. Like, artists are quirky, to say the least. And I'm just like loving all of it. I'm loving their crazy hair. I'm loving their crazy clothes, the things they made, all of this. And as we're leaving, the Costa Rican woman made a comment about something to the effect of that they're just so strange. How they dress is just so strange. And I felt myself kind of really put a wall, because I thought it was so cool and fun, and I would love to dress like that. And I guess that, I don't let myself express some of those things, because only other artists would understand the quirkiness of it. And so it just made me really aware of like how we judge everything, how we just put a label on it, and instead of saying, well, that's different than what I would do, we have to find a way to judge it somehow. And so I think that if we're going to succeed as women, we have to find those like-minded people. Maybe maybe y'all wouldn't want to dress like I dress, but I would be comfortable doing that around you, because I would know that you're not going to make me feel uncomfortable for wanting to dress how I'd like to dress. So anyway, that was kind of off the wall, but that was kind of the biggest one thing that came to my mind when I read that question, was just, I can still remember kind of the panic that I felt when she was condemning, so to speak, the way that the artists were. I don't know. Does that make sense?
It does. And I think that's so powerful, that the words people speak, just kind of flippantly, it can so either move us closer to what God is calling us to do, or like make us go backwards, like every single time. Any other thoughts, ladies, on tribe?
So as Arlene was talking, I was thinking about even just in different spots in the U.S., okay, culture is different, religions are different, beliefs are different. And where I live, everything is very conservative. And when I shared that I hired a mindset coach, it was like, blew people's mind. You did what? And it was the best thing I ever did for myself. And it was amazing, and I grew so much, and my journey has been beautiful, and I've helped other women because of it. But there's that stigma. You had to hire a coach to work through your thoughts, or you had to hire a coach because you what? You want to become a coach? I mean, why? Like, people just don't understand where your heart is sometimes. And something that's really helped me, not only just picking up books similar to Girl Wash Your Face, is listening to other women who have jumped into the arena and have done something different. Like, I absolutely love to listen to Emily Wright. Her story is phenomenal. What that woman has accomplished is so amazing. Or Brene Brown. She talks about the critics and being in the arena and how the critics aren't the ones that count. So, sometimes I think, yes, your tribe is so important, because they can really, really, really boost you, and they can really be supportive, and you can bounce ideas off of, and they can bring you up, they can help you up level. But sometimes I think the only tribe that we really need is the one who's directing the journey. And if we let him be our support, this tribe, wherever they may be, they can be there, but they are not absolutely critical to you finding and following your heart. I hope that makes sense.
Perfectly. Perfectly. Yeah. And I think we've all been to those places where people have kind of looked at you like, you're really going to do that? You know? And it's like, yeah, like let's step out there and let's do it. And it really is that place where if God's called it, you need to step in and do it. Because if you ask for opinions from 10 different people, you're going to get 10 different opinions. I mean, honestly. Like, how many of us have had that happen? Yes. I mean, even just because we all build doTERRA, like, if you go ask 10 higher ranked people how they were successful, they're all going to have a different story and a different suggestion for you. And you really have to find your people, and you have to just do what the vision that God's given you. So I love that. Yeah, totally. Carrie or Amber?
Well, I think sometimes as you start to grow and change, you think you find your tribe, and then you think you find your tribe, and you think you find your tribe, because it's a journey. And sometimes you're changing so much that what you're looking for is also changing. Or for me, I'm actually starting to recognize, in some people who are really close to me, some behaviors that didn't used to bother me because I was more like them. And now that I'm changing, I'm recognizing some things. And so, sometimes your tribe is there for a season, and that season changes, and you move on. And so there's a part of you that can be seeking to find these like-minded people. And maybe it's not like-minded people. Maybe it's more like-minded souls, or more like-minded energy, and that it's going to be there for a season. But I think that it is just so important to keep seeking that and keep finding that. And even if you think you've found your tribe and you're really, vibing with them, and you've grown and stretched, and maybe you're being pointed in a different direction, that it's okay to let go of that and to love and appreciate it for what it brought into your life, and to continue to acknowledge it for the growth and the season that you were in, and move towards something else. Because it's not just like you can flip a switch and find your people. I've recycled probably 90% of who my friends are. Because of circumstance. Usually your best friends are people you work with. And when you kind of get out on your own, like I don't have coworkers. I have to go seek and find people. And so, just be loving and accepting of your journey. And maybe you won't find the right people, or maybe something didn't turn out like you hoped, but just keep trusting and going with it. And, you'll eventually settle into a group. And you'll still be bringing in some new people, and maybe some other people will be moving out at the same time. But just be encouraged by the change, and don't be discouraged by the change. You can have both encouragement and discouragement, but just look at it from the positive and love that about yourself.
Girlfriend, that is some truth. I think so many women get stuck because they're trying to hold on to those people, and I love T.D. Jakes said this probably years and years ago. He said, people are put in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And it so helped me when you can see that transition, and you're like, you're not supposed to be, you were there for a reason, and possibly a season, but it's, we've grown, and but yeah, girl, that's some truth. Like, women get stuck. Like, we get stuck because we've been BFFs with that person for 20 years. We all went to kindergarten together. I don't have that, but some people do. Heather does. And sometimes it's just not that season. So thanks for sharing that. That's a truth nugget. If somebody wants to write something down, that's some truth. Amber, any thoughts?
My thoughts actually just kind of sum up what everybody said, so I'll just throw them out there. that we end up, the importance of our tribe to our journey is that you reach for what you're around, what you're surrounding yourself with. So feedback from even social media, who you're following, what you're reading, what you're putting into your brain. You reach for what your input is. And so the people that you're surrounding yourself with, virtually, in person, they're having input into the direction of your journey and your attitude towards it. And that's kind of what everybody has said already. But that's the importance of choosing your time distribution with those people, that you're making sure that you're getting poured into in the direction that you're heading, that you're wanting to head, that you're seeking out people that have been successful in the area you're headed into, or who are headed for success in that area, that you're really getting that input from those people. And then also, like with the critics and the negative voices, that it comes down to other people's opinions of me are not my business. They're not something that actually should concern me. It's not something that should dictate my next decision. That's not a fear that should hold me, though it does. It's frequently something that does. But it's not something that I should keep holding on to. So when those voices of critics or questioning your what? Say that again, because that doesn't make any sense. When those voices come up, to be able to treat them with respect and give them an answer, but not let that keep a weight on me, like, oh, maybe I'm not, maybe it's the wrong way. To not let that be the direction that is guiding me.
Well said. Well said. Amber's always our well said person. We love that about Amber. She always sums it up so pretty in a pretty little box. So yeah, find your tribe, but be willing to release that if in that season, if you're moving forward and God's like, they don't need to keep going with you. So love that. And then finally, ladies, like, what can we do as women to help each other achieve the calling that God has put, that vision, that mission? Like, how do we help each other in this journey?
Well, I think doing things like we're doing right now, something touches our heart, we need to share that. We need to expose that about ourselves to others, so that we can, so that we can form those bonds and that communication, and so people don't feel isolated and they don't feel alone. We may not all be on the same journey or the same path, but we can sure see someone's heart, and we can see where they're hurting, and we can see where they're vulnerable, and we can give them love and encouragement. And so I just think taking opportunities to share something that you're going with, to invite people in or going through, and then to invite people in to talk about it, share, discuss it, and then find out how you can love and support other people, maybe because of an experience that you've had. Suggest books, have webinars like this. Do just put it out there and allow people to, either be drawn to it, or maybe it's not their thing, and that's totally okay.
Totally agree. And most women want that community. So if you just say, hey, can we all get online for 30 minutes? A lot of women will jump on. So you don't have to be techie or figure it all out. Just jump on, talk to each other. And just, I think for me, like, find somebody to encourage. It's not about you. Like, truly find somebody that you can see their gifting and you can see what they're really good at. And just, y'all, it's as quick as sending just a Facebook message. Hey, how's it going? how's your business going, or how's it going with your kiddos. I mean, instead of tearing down, we as women need to build up, because we get enough of the tearing down in the world. So any other thoughts?
I'll share. I think Carrie totally just hit it on the head. It's totally okay. Wherever you are, it's totally okay. If your journey is parallel to mine and I can help you, I would love that. I would love to be your cheerleader. I would love to be in your corner, but if that's not where you're at, that's totally okay. And it's totally okay that I'm in a different area than you are. If we would step back from our judgment boxes and our soapboxes and the pedestals that we put people on, and we just, like you were mentioning before, if we love each other within our healthy boundaries, it is totally okay. And everybody's journey is beautiful and amazing in their own right. And that is how we can support each other. I think, personally, being that non-judgmental friend, you want to come to me and tell me your story, I'm going to listen. And sometimes that's all you need, is somebody to listen. And it's totally okay. I love that, Carrie. I thought that was great.
Well, and I think we need more reminders that our journeys are different. So much of all media in general wants us all to look like the exact picture, and we've got this idea in our mind of what ideal is supposed to be and what success physically looks like and should be achieving. But everybody's journey is different, and that is part of the process, and definitely something to be encouraging others in regularly. Like, your journey is yours. It's great.
Arlene, anything to add to that?
It's just sometimes feels overwhelming. Everything that I've been learning the last few years, I keep going back to. I really could have used this a long time ago. You know? And so I try to really pay attention and to really gather it in and have it close up front in my mind, so that, and my prayer is that when I do come across somebody that needs something I've learned, that I don't come across as pushy or preachy or salesy or anything like that, but that I would just come across as I have some information that you might could benefit from. And so, yeah, it is encouraging to talk to other people who understand that we all have challenges and all just want to make a difference. We all just want to make a difference in somebody else's life. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, for being on here. If you guys want to connect with them, they're all on Facebook. You can totally connect with them, see what groups they have. If you have questions, like, we're more than happy to be your cheerleader, and just to walk with you on this path. And we really just want this to be a place to where, you're getting with your girlfriends and you're talking through some of this stuff. And just being encouraged. Like, this was so encouraging to just be able to get together, and we all have different journeys, but some of the same fears and some of the same stuff. And then I'm also going to offer, for anybody that just wants to dig a little bit deeper, there'll be a 1-week devotional by email. And so if you're just kind of like, kind of been playing small, then it's just a quick, short devotional every morning. that you can get via email, and you can go to lifechangingoils.org, and that will be available for you to get via email. And we'll be doing some more of these. This was fun. Maybe not the same group. I don't know. But we'll see. So we just believe God is just opening some minds and opening some words to speak over you. And we would just encourage you, just stay on your journey. So don't look at what the people are doing. Just do what God has called you to do. So we just believe that. So thank you, ladies, again, just for being here and being amazing. Lots of wisdom on these screens. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Connie.